Hello there, everybody, and welcome to the beginning of the bracket stage of the All Skills Tournament. I'm Sigma, and today I am joined on commentary by Hetfield. How are you doing?
Whoa, doing good.
Nice. So, we have 36 entrants into this bracket stage of the tournament, and this is going to be the pre-round to the round of 32, start of the pre-elimination matches, as coined by our good friend Hobbs. Today, we're going to be looking at Snoopy versus Pirox, 29th versus 36th seed, playing for the honor of doing battle with Trojan in the round of 32. So what are you looking for from this match, Hetfield? What are we going to see today?
You know, we're going to see some dashes, some bashes. You know, maybe if we're lucky, a light grenade.
Oh, man. Was it Pirox who killed the fish with light grenade as a statement? Or was that somebody else? I think it might have been somebody else. I didn't have my stats.
I forget who that was, but it was hilarious.
It was Fant. Alright. Well, starts with a P and is 5 letters. That was close.
It's epic.
Alright, so as you can see on the stats sheet here, Snoopy definitely appears favored to win this match. Snoopy's got the best seeding among anybody in the pre-elimination round. It's the best PB, best race average, and it's basically looking to win this one, but you never know what can happen in Ori. It's been 2 weeks since the bracket stage, or a week and a half more like, and you know, people can practice and get a lot better in that time, so we'll have to keep our eyes out for what's actually going to happen in this race, and I think we're getting ready pretty soon here.
So this is the first match where someone is actually going to get eliminated in the tournament, right?
That's right. Whoever loses is out. It's not double elimination. That was what the group stage was for, so this is just a cutthroat single elimination bracket. And looks like we're kicked off here. We're just waiting for the sync, and then we will be away. So you can feast your eyes upon the new layouts that Richard spent all of his time over the last week making, instead of actually practicing Ori. And let's get into this match.
Looks like Snoopy may have had some trouble with the prologue skip.
Yeah, that was like maybe a slow load, or just, you know, menuing is impossible. Pirox busted out the color code and managed to pick up orange. That's pretty sick. That's one of the best colors, I think.
Yeah, if Ori turns orange, it's because he's been drinking the juice. So you automatically go faster when you have an orange Ori.
You know it. Alright, so they're both picking up sign. Pirox is going to be maintaining a little bit of a lead here for a bit because of that whatever menuing issue at the very beginning, but it's not a very big deal. These kind of small time differences don't mean much over the course of a full run of all skills. Pirox having a little bit of trouble with the Frankie fight, leaving a couple with 1 health, but didn't get hit or anything, and it went pretty well, so I think Snoopy saved a little bit of time there. It was a little bit cleaner, but again, not really much difference, not much change going to be happening in this position, most likely until wall jump. It is, you know, possible to die in this section, especially since you're damage boosting yourself down to 1 health to do a faster ghost door, but unlikely, I think, that we'll see a death here.
You never know with blades.
That's true. Ugh, dang. Pirox tried to optimize the rock pull there and ended up pulling it out not quite far enough. You want to pull that rock to the point where you can just barely fit through, and ended up losing a little bit of time from having to go and pull the rock twice. So Snoopy actually takes a little bit of a lead here. Snoopy getting the ghost door off. Looks like 2 hits for Snoopy, 2 hits for Pirox as well. So They didn't manage to get perfect health, but there's not much you can do about that because when you get a bunch of health drops, then you're not going to be able to get yourself all the way down. So both racers opted to grab the 4th health cell. That's pretty common in this tournament. During the bracket stage, the only people who went 3 health were Elo Jiminy and Hetfield. And I think some people were saying that they might go 3 in the bracket because they had been practicing more PB attempts with 3, and they realized maybe it's not all that bad. But I think they're maybe a little crazy. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I don't know. With single elimination, I don't know if risking it is all that worth it.
Yeah, it's spooky. 4 health saves you. I mean, it's not necessary in any real way. There's very little you can do in terms of damage boosts to save time, so it is just straight up slower to take the 4th health, but it makes it so you die to so many less things later on in one hit. So that's kind of nice. Both of them grabbing wall jump at a very similar time here. Pretty reasonable pace from both players so far. Nothing too bad has happened, but soon the game gets more and more complicated, and deaths will probably start to creep in. Although I would love to see a deathless race, but I don't think it's ever going to happen. 2 people not dying in an Ori round at the same time. That's ridiculous.
Impossible. Pirox turned back to white during that cutscene.
Huh. So I guess he was fishing for a different color. Looks like, squinting at it, it might be a little bit off-white. When you redo the color code, you're just getting random values for your colors, so it is pretty white, though. That's kind of funny that he managed to revert it. So both of these guys are heading over to Blackroot Burrows, the new area in the Definitive Edition, and we're going to be picking up Dash right away. Dash is not strictly necessary to beat the game, but since this is all skills and it's classified as a skill, we have to go get it. And even if we didn't have to go get it, we still would, because it saves an unbelievable amount of time over the course of the game with how fast you're able to move while dashing.
Yeah, there was some discussion early on whether or not it would be faster to get dash early or later in all skills, because you can get it faster. You can go through BRB much faster if you have charge jump, but because of charge dash and rocket jumps and everything, early dash completely surpasses later dash by a large margin.
Yeah, it's pretty ridiculous. I think before we even knew about the dash tech, just for the amount of dashes you got to just do across the ground instead of running places, we decided that it was better to get dash early, and then we found all of these little tricks with dash that save you tons of time, makes it not even close. These guys are actually very close right now, both having a little bit of trouble with the lantern part getting some spike damage in. But yeah, they lived, and that's the important part.
Trying to back boost Snoopy. I think he knew he was getting there on the perfect line.
Taking the double's okay, as long as you don't take the triple. So they've both got the fast cycle and are basically tied right now. I think Pirox has a very slight lead from entering BRB, but this part is essentially an auto-scroller. They both did a manipulation to get a hopefully good cycle in the last room. So depending on the manipulation, we might see a slight variance in the difference between the racers here, but it's very, very close here. Good manipulation from Pirox, good manipulation from Snoopy as well. I think Pirox's was maybe a little better, but not by much. But the lead's still in Pirox's hands for a little bit. This fleeting, 2-second lead here. And as I say that, Snoopy does the orb drop on the moving platform, while Pirox opted for the safer drop on the stationary platform. Snoopy pulls ahead. Now we'll get to see another lead change, perhaps, while this random orb drop timing comes into play. Let's see. Orb drop. Looks like Pirox's was a little bit better. And now we're almost exactly tied. This is a good
draw.
race to start the tournament off, or the bracket stage off with, don't you think?
Yeah, this is pretty close.
So now we're just gonna sit through this end of this cutscene here, and then both players are gonna pick up dash. This, looks like I'll figure out the exact lead when they click the tree. That was 748 versus 749. So yeah, 1 second apart. And now we're going to be heading off into the Frankie Walk. This part of the game is still a little bit spooky, just because your energy is extremely limited here, and a death, a mistake, can cost you, a minute plus. So hopefully it goes off without a hitch. These guys aren't criminally insane, so they're not going to be doing fast Frankie Walk, as far as I know. And they'll just be doing the safe version where you bring the guy all the way over the door. Snoopy missed aggroing the Frankie there, and just like that, Pirox has flip-flopped the lead for about the 7th time this race, and is now a little bit quicker into his Frankie Walk.
He's also going into Moon Grotto with a bluish color, very dangerous.
Oh! He got stomped by the Frankie.
That's
Dang.
unfortunate.
Yeah, that hurts. You have to just get down to low health there from the damage boost that you take out of Blackroot, and you also have to damage boost the spikes. And this Frankie is strong and does 2 damage with his stomp effects, so it leached Pirox's remaining health away, and he went down. So Snoopy now onto the death run and gets bodied by the Frankie up there as well. So the Frankies are strong. They came with their chairs and started just beating up all the poor little Ories helplessly, getting murderized. Oh man, the horrible creatures of Glades. How could they do this?
Yeah, it looks like Pirox is trying to set up the Frankies jump over those thorns there to make sure he doesn't lose aggro on it. You can actually get line of sighted by the top part of the thorns. So that was probably why he ended up dying the first time, because he was trying to get the Frankie into a specific position.
That makes sense. So Pirox getting through the dangerous part of the death run, but this area is still called the death run, and he can't save just yet. He's got to get up to this energy cell first, and then he'll be able to go at it. Snoopy's second Frankie Walk goes off, but he did die to this death water part last time. We'll see if he gets through it cleanly this time. I'm getting... Oh no! He's dead again. I'm getting like some frame drops from his stream. What can you do about that? But we do know that he died to the Frankie in a very similar way, so that has got to not feel good at all. Whereas Pirox is now progressing on towards double jump.
Snoopy also now taking the safety save at the Spirit Well, preparing for hopefully not death number 3.
In my experience, what normally happens when you take that safety save, which loses you 4 seconds, is you will just get it the next attempt. It's just, it's a psychological benefit. But if he does die again, it will lose him considerably less time. I really hope he doesn't, though. That's really rough starting a run out like this. You don't want to have that kind of thing happen to you, just because later on your deaths are not nearly as painful, and there's just nothing you can do except get lucky with an energy drop to avoid this kind of problem early on. Pirox, he's dying a little bit on the way to double jump.
Because of the ghost door, you have 1 HP going into this part, so the first 2 times he missed a dash glide and the Frankie jumped on him. The 3rd time he got hit by the slime. So there he actually opted to kill the slime just to make sure he wasn't alive to kill him again.
Yeah, it's a good decision there. Rather than getting infinited by a part, just say, okay, I'm just going to give up 2 seconds and make sure I get through here this time. We're having some technical difficulties on Snoopy's side, I believe, and it all caught up. So Richard is working his magic, or maybe just Twitch is coming back to life. And as we can see, since Snoopy is in Moon Grotto, that last Frankie Walk did work. He used the power of the color code changing to blue so that Ori would be hidden from the Frankie, and the Frankie wouldn't be able to see Ori, just like you can't see Ori against the grotto background even remotely. And that looked like a nice grotto skip from Pirox. I was watching Snoopy's screen for a sec, but I did not see Pirox stuck on grotto skip. So is that first try? I think that's first try. I'm gonna say it's first try.
I was watching Snoopy as well.
So I'm not sure if either of these guys are watching each other's screens. I've been out of the Ori tournament mode for the last week because we didn't have any matches playing. I used to remember to ask that question at the start of the race to know if, the runners would know if they're behind or ahead. But if they're not watching each other, I would definitely think that both of them think they're behind at this point, given deaths on the Frankie walk.
Yeah, probably.
That's a beautiful grotto skip from Snoopy right there. It's not even landing on top of the log to do it, just straight off the side of the platform and into it. So nice play there. Given that Snoopy's PB is considerably better than Pirox's, I would expect to see him catching up. Just with things like that, just better movement here and there, and maybe some less costly deaths later. But at this time, it's basically Pirox's lead to lose, because this is a pretty considerable lead. We're looking at least a minute here, I think, and that's a good position to be in a race this early. But there's a reason that Snoopy's PB is like 6 minutes better. So I definitely would say Snoopy is not out of this by any means, but it's not quite the start of the race we were expecting.
Yeah, the late game especially is where things would really start to branch off movement-wise between runners who have different PBs, like by several minutes, depending on the kind of movement that he does. Whether he does like stomp cancels and all sorts of stuff, he has potential to catch up on Pirox, even if Pirox doesn't make any more mistakes that end up in a death.
Yeah, Snoopy taking a couple deaths here, but at this point, we've gotten through the horrifying early game of Ori, and now deaths are not very costly. I mean, you still don't want to die, but those couple he took lost him maybe 10 seconds, so not a big deal. Pirox missed the cutscene skip outside of Genso. That's not a big deal either. It loses you a couple of seconds, but it's not even worth reloading the file to try to get it a second time. The reload takes too long to make it have any value. Snoopy now pulling out the rock to get to the swamp teleporter. This is a little faster than what Pirox did where he pushed it in, but pushing it in is what you have to do if you are a little slow on your movement and you don't make the cycle with the spinning spike arms of death. Snoopy taking a wise save on the Genso teleporter because he got crushed, spiked, stabbed, murderized by those spinning spike arms, and then saying thanks to 4 HP because the damage boost to the slime did not go cleanly and he took 3 damage there. So he's going into Genso with 1 HP. And how do you feel when you go into Genso with 1 HP, Head?
Well, I feel no different because there's nothing that'll really, it's usually falling down into the spikes that'll kill you, if anything.
That's true.
3 damage. There's some parts of the game where having 1 HP versus 3 HP is a huge difference, and some parts of the game where it's not any different at all. Like Misty, it doesn't really matter how much HP you have, unless you have 4. Same thing with the first half of Jinzo, I'd say.
Oh boy, there it goes. Snoopy taking a death there on those aforementioned 3 health spikes. That second room of Genso can be pretty brutal. I don't remember who did this, but it was somebody in the group stage of the tournament who actually placed a safety save between the first and second room of Genso, which I'd never seen anybody do before. And then I thought about it, and because we get 4 energy in all skills now, which has been done for a long time, but originally you only got 2 or 3. you can actually make that save with absolutely no detriment, but nobody remembers to do it because everybody's been doing the old save route for months and months. But it would come in handy from time to time when you have issues with the second room, which has been known to happen.
Before the gamer room?
Yeah. You save, like, while you're dashing across the bottom platform there, and then I think the save even comes off cooldown before the normal position people place the safety save in.
Which is, like, right before the spider, right?
Yeah. I'm hoping maybe by the end of the tournament, one person will remember to do it. I've been telling myself to do it, and I've never remembered in one run, just because it feels so weird to save there. Anyhow, we have Pirox now with Bash moving along quickly. He's going to place a save here to get a setup for key dupe. Oh, wow. I think he found the harmless spike. I'm not sure if that was intentional or not.
I assume it wasn't, since he went back down to get hit.
Yeah.
You can actually utilize that if you do a different strat. There's faster movement that you can do in this section with all the lanterns and the keys. If you have 3 health, that ends up only... It involves only bashing off the lantern once. The second lantern down by the first key. You just go straight into the spikes, but that's a strat that not really anyone knows about.
Yeah, I think you're the only person who's done it in all skills. I kind of half copied it in all cells, but all cells is a lot different for other reasons. Anyways, moving along, we have Snoopy now picking up Bash. I believe Pirox's Bash was something like a 1730. So it looks like about a minute 30, a minute 40 lead for Pirox right now. So that death at the start of Ginso honestly cost a fair amount of time. Dying at basically the top of the second room is not too good, but like I've been saying, Snoopy's PB is better, so you would expect to see a cleaner late game out of Snoopy, but if Pirox just plays steadily at this point and doesn't die anywhere, I think he's actually in a good position to pull off the upset. That said, not dying is not so easy.
This is true. Ori is a speed game where it is very easy to die from a small slip-up at just about anywhere in the run, and many deaths can be extremely costly, giving you upwards of a minute time loss in some places.
That's for sure. That was a nice key dupe from Snoopy dropping directly in. Pirox now going to be cruising through the Ginso escape. When you play this game casually, this part murders you over and over, but there's nothing random about it. In fact, we're basically done with RNG for the rest of the game, and it's the same every time. So while the water rubber bands and catches up to you quickly, it's not really much of a problem. Okay, we're fine.
Looked like he wanted to go the non-teleporter route there. Fell down, had to go do the teleporter back up.
Yeah, I was a little confused by that because I thought he made the jumps around just fine and then kind of like bailed out to the teleporter. But just taking a little bit of a dip in the water there. The water is not very comfortable in the Ginso escape. It actually just kills you quite quickly. So Pirox testing things out a little bit and saying, no, I'm not going to get myself killed in the Ginso escape. Snoopy's going to be doing his core skip here. Nice setup on the frog. And nice, he's got it.
Yeah, a lot of the deaths in this game are intentional. One of the most common ones is after you put the keys in the door, you can kill yourself and then the door will be gone when you respawn to save up to 4 seconds. The other one, the key dupe death that they did in the Ginso tree, skips this entire underwater section that you see Pirox at right now. Normally you'd have to go through this really long maze underwater to get these 2 keystones to open that door, but he already had them from the duplication in the Ginso tree.
Yeah, that underwater part is avoided in every single category except for 100% because you have to go down there for your map completion.
And glitchless.
Oh yeah, that's right, because we can't do keys in glitchless. How could I forget about glitchless? Snoopy's got more frame drops going on and actually shows up in the speed gaming chat with a not like this, so hopefully that wasn't a death at the end of the Ginso escape and is just referencing the frame drop, so maybe we will see once the PowerPoint advances to the next slide. No, he's in Swamp. Okay, so he didn't die. That's good. That's good.
Pirox doing Drainless there, it looked like his save was actually off the edge, even though he placed it preemptively on his way up. How did that happen?
I don't even know. I didn't see when he placed it clearly enough to tell how that save actually landed there. Maybe it was just a little visual confusion. I'm not sure, but it was a weird position.
Yeah, one of the old strats that we did for Drainless there was you actually started running as you started planning the save to get the save actually off the edge there, but now that you can just open up the ability menu while you're off the edge while the save is right next to you, don't need to do that anymore. Pirox not going for Kuro skip. I think that's because the frog started to shoot him instead of running away, so he was just like, whatever, I'll just bash my way through it.
Yeah, I think he might have taken damage too, and when you try to set up the skip with that frog, and you're hurt, and he doesn't run, and then just hits you for 2 and slaps you back to whatever your last save was, it does not feel too good. So that's an opportunity for Snoopy to potentially catch some time up on him, because that cutscene does take 17 seconds to watch, so if he gets the skip, which is not too easy, it's quite a precise trick, he can make up a little bit of the ground here, but still a nice lead for Pirox, regardless of whether that happens or not. So, Pirox heading out from Charge Flame. Gonna direct your eyes over to the left side of the screen to watch Snoopy go for Kuro cutscene skip. She tried to place a safety save and didn't get it off. Position, I was gonna say it looked too far right, and then he opted to correct it, and then he missed the skip anyways. That's a little rough, unfortunately.
Like didn't correct it enough there.
Yeah, it was close. I think one more tap left would have done it, but that trick is very, very precise. Until we had an very detailed setup on it, basically nobody was getting it at all.
Yeah, initially we thought it was impossible in Definitive Edition. It was a lot easier in Vanilla. For whatever reason, they made it a lot more precise in this game. I don't know what was the cause of that.
Yeah, it's kind of strange. There's a few things like that where some out-of-bounds tricks changed. They're still possible, but more difficult or less difficult in DE sometimes. So Pirox is cruising through Valley. There's an optional trick coming up called Fast Stompless, which he hasn't gone for in the past, and I wouldn't expect to see him go for it here. It saves something like 15 to 17 seconds and costs you an arm and a leg and a piece of your soul if you miss it. And no, he's not going to go for it. He's just going to take this ability cell the safe way. So if Snoopy goes for it, he could save some time there as well, but I don't believe he has gone for it in the past. So we'll have to see if he updated his strats between groups and bracket, or if he just opts to go with the same kind of deal.
Also, both runners opting for the 4 energy route. Just recently, we've come up with some crazy, ridiculous optimizations to make 5 energy faster, or you can just use the 5th energy for safety saves. But since it is a relatively new route, some runners I think would just prefer staying with what they're used to and what they've practiced.
Yeah, basically the new route saves maybe around 2 or 3 seconds. If you do all of this ridiculous, different charge dash tech in the late game that you have to practice every little bit of. And in the tournament, honestly, that's a little nuts, I guess, because you're cutting out all your safety saves and you're doing these balls to the wall, nutty strats in the late game. So I think most people that even take 5 energy in the tournament will be opting to use it. You're going to invest that 5-6 seconds getting it into just having more safety saves. Nice Surabash from Pirox there. Got in pretty cleanly, and is rocketing his way through this spooky part of the game. We'll see if he opts to take a safety save. No, he's going to faceplant into spikes. Ugh, that failed rocket jump input murdered him.
Unfortunate. Either he input the jump input after he hit the frog, or he input it before the charge dash. That is a frustrating death to take, which puts them almost equal now.
Yeah, I think the common way to safety save is just after you do that trick. So Pirox was like actually about 3 seconds away from making a safety save when he took that death, so that's very brutal. He still has a bit of a lead, but now their saves are in the same position and Pirox dies. So now we're both dashing at the same frog, and we have
literally
a perfect tie.
Neck and neck.
And Sorobash is murdering people today, left and right. Snoopy's going to take a death to the bird up there too. This trick is absolutely the hardest trick to learn, the hardest mandatory trick in the run. So it's not surprising to see some deaths here. Snoopy getting a safety save up by the cliff, so that's going to be helpful if he takes another death. Pirox has gone into Soro again, so hopefully his rocket jump doesn't take him into the spikes this time. Let's see how it goes. No, the same thing! Ouch!
That's gotta hurt.
Yeah, that really sucks. I wonder if the next time he gets in, if he's going to save before doing that rocket jump. It's not as nice of a save position, but after dying to it twice, you've got to be feeling like, oh my gosh, like I just need to get a save that's further forward than at the feather here. Snoopy getting in cleanly, getting that save before laser skip. So Snoopy now cleanly ahead, because even if he dies at this point, he's already through Sorobash and through the first roof. He's going to rekindle the save and then kill himself, reset the frog's health. Pirox trying another attempt into Soro, but now Sorobash is getting him too. This is a painful series of events to strike you in Soro, but that's just the nature of the place. Like everything, all the spikes one-shot you, and you have very little energy to spare because you have to use a lot of your energy on rocket jumps to do Soro the fast way.
Snoopy actually not going for the rocket jump there. I wonder if it's because the frog went over to the left so far. The frog goes all the way over to the left right there. It's pretty much impossible to get the rocket jump through the gap there. And Pirox now putting his save down before this rocket jump, and of course he gets it when the save is there.
That's how those safety saves work. You make them and then you don't need them. So he took energy, and he didn't save with it before the frog part. Normally this is where you want to make the save, but he put it earlier because he was having trouble with that trick. So he does have enough energy to do the quick top of Soro. Snoopy's still ahead even if he does this, but oh boy, he took a hit from the frog there. So this frog will now one-shot him if he takes another point of damage. Hopefully that will not happen. So I'm going to root for Pirox here because another death would be very costly at this point, and he's already had a bit of a rough Soro here. Okay, so he's opting to float up. I think he's had energy for the rocket jump, but there's nothing wrong with opting to not take that rocket jump, given that there are a lot of spikes and lasers around that can kill you. But now he's up here, he's safe, he can get this level up, and he will be grabbing the Sunstone, which Snoopy just grabbed. Pirox still suffering a little bit from needing to... Wait, what is going on? Why is he reloading the file here? Did I miss something? Is this some kind of like menu bug or something? I'm so confused.
Did he skill a point by mistake or something?
Oh no, oh! Oh no! His save is back down at the... Oh! Oh, this is so tragic. He accidentally leveled something.
Oh no.
Oh no. And now he's chain dying here, but at least he has this save. At that point, I wonder if it would almost be faster to just watch the Sunstone cutscene. Which is it's like 80 seconds long, but man, this is the worst series of events for Pirox here in Soro. he had such a great start to this run, and then this is why Sorrow Pass is called Sorrow Pass, because it fills you with sorrow.
So true. One thing to note, you actually can, by changing the configuration in the key rebinding file, you can put, you can set up a bind that does charge dash and jump on the same frame, which makes it so you get optimal frame perfect rocket jumps every time, so you don't have to risk charge dashing the frog like that and dying in the spikes like what's happening to Pirox, but unfortunately I guess he doesn't know about that.
Yeah, there is some case even with that bind, if you're already holding your dash or jump inputs, you can get failed rocket jumps, but given the amount of deaths there, I imagine it's just trying to do manual rocket jumps and having a little bit of trouble with it. Rocket jumps, I mean, pressing a couple buttons at the same time is not too difficult, but you should. Yeah, I think it's just a good idea to take the possibility of failure out of the equation. Snoopy's now. He had to have taken a death in Misty, and that was actually a pretty bad death because I looked away and completely missed this. So I'm terrible at commentary apparently, but he was definitely at the Atsu's Torch cutscene, and now he's at the start of Misty again, and he's placing a save. So there was some kind of mishap with the spikes. He's still in the lead because Pirox's sorrow is very sorrowful, but that is another rough death to take. And I was kind of talking a little earlier about how they will think they're behind if they're not watching each other, and that's still going to be the case for both of them. Pirox has got through the Sunstone cutscene skip now, and will soon be picking up Charge Jump. A lot of things going wrong, but this is how Ori goes. It's very difficult to get to these end parts without dying, which is why we were talking earlier about a Deathless Ori run. That'll never happen with two people at once.
Yeah, Deathless runs in general are rather few and far between in this game for anyone. Pirox just straight up kills the frog there, sending him into the spikes. Doesn't even want to deal with him.
See a frog. I guess he got a rekindle off as a result of that, and that rekindle immediately got value since he found some spikes. These spikes do 4 damage. There's nothing you can do to stop them from killing you.
Unless, of course, you get the 5th health in, like, Moon Grotto, I think. Or maybe one in Hollow Grove might be faster, I'm not sure.
They're basically the same. We've seen a few people take 5 health in this tournament, but most opt for 4 or 3. Well, I'd say there's probably more 5s than 3s, but anyways, there's Snoopy cruising through Misty Woods right now. This place is just a bunch of cool movement with a bunch of spooky spikes that will kill you, but he's doing it quite nicely. He's taking a couple safety saves here and there. He did miss an energy. Oh, and 4 health paying off there because he ate some spikes, so now he's at 1. And that's spooky. He missed an energy from the 4th Keystone Crystal, so hopefully he knows that. I think he might be out of energy here, actually, but there's another crystal he can pick up quite soon. No, he still has 1 for charge dashes, never mind. Pirox rocket jumped into the tree, but did not get stuck as badly as Red did in the group stage. So he's able to slip on out of there without having to reload the file, which is a kind of funny occurrence we saw earlier in the tournament.
So Snoopy finishing up the last part of Misty Woods here. The Ostu's Torch or whatever it's called. Use that to unlock Forlorn, but he just needs to set foot inside that area for a second so he can change Misty Woods back to its original form.
Yeah, Forlorn Ruins remains quite forlorn in this run. This is not all dungeons, this is all skills. So he has the skill from Misty Woods. There is no skill in Forlorn Ruins, so we're just never going to go there. The only purpose is to unlock the Wind, which lets you get to Sorrow Pass, but we already did that with the Sorrow Bash, so no need for us to go visit the ice dungeon. So we've got Pirox grabbing Climb. We're somewhere looking at around a 2-minute advantage for Snoopy at the moment. Pirox has to make his way all the way through Misty, and hopefully without mishap, and then off to Light Grenade. Snoopy's going to be picking up Light Grenade shortly. Light Grenade, what do you think about Light Grenade as a skill head?
Well, it's pretty much the best skill in the game. I think that's undebatable. It has so many uses, especially in all skills.
Some players have unbound Light Grenade and don't even have the ability to throw a Light Grenade in all skills.
Oh yeah, I'm one of them. Need all the binds I can get.
Oh boy. Yeah, so we're picking up Light Grenade because it's a skill, but it does absolutely nothing for us. So we will not see any Light Grenades, most likely, unless somebody decides to throw some around for some swag purposes, but it's a skill. We have some cool movement in and out of here at least, so that's fun, but the skill itself is not of interest.
Yeah, Light Grenade mainly. In theory, it would be a cool skill, like if they had actually made it part of the sequence of the game. Like, say if it was in the original version of the game, and you had to get it before getting charged him and whatnot, so you had to do, bashes off of Light Grenades. In that scenario, I think it would be pretty cool, but fortunately, the way it got shoehorned in, you don't need to get it at all for any reason.
Yeah, they did a good job with Dash, one of the first new skill they added, and then Light Grenade. Yeah, but Dash is so good that I'll forgive them for what Light Grenade is. Pirox had a pretty good Misty, I think. I didn't see any real major deaths there, so he's cruising along, but Snoopy not really giving him room to come back, it would appear. No bad deaths taken out of the Light Grenade area. Now we're on a freeze frame of Swamp as he's making his way to Horu, so the internet issues continue, but that's how it goes sometimes. So eventually we'll see Snoopy just teleport to Horu really fast. It's some new tech where you just pause your game by the Swamp teleporter, and then suddenly you're doing Door Warp once a stream updates.
Hopefully.
Alright, so Pirox in to get Light Grenade. Snoopy now doing Door Warp, as predicted. We caught up, and here we are. So here he has to input enter door up on the very first frame the file loads, and if he does that, the door has not finished loading where it's supposed to send you, and it sends you down here instead, which is the end of the final dungeon. So we don't have to do any of the final dungeon at all, we just have to Door Warp. Now he's on to the final escape, so he'll be finishing up shortly. Once he gets through this last escape sequence, he just kind of has to watch a few cutscenes, and then he'll be done. So barring a bunch of deaths on this escape, it looks like he's in the clear to win this race, but I think this race was a lot more surprising than I expected. The lead changes were all over the place, and aside from Sorrow, Pirox had a really good run, but Sorrow can cause a lot of problems, and that's basically what we saw here.
Yeah, that's true. Everything outside of Sorrow was pretty even between the two runners. Like, it was neck and neck all the way up until that point, for the most part, going back and forth.
Yeah, so there's one strategy in the final escape which can be pretty fun. It's called fish strats. Hopefully the stream will not be lagging when Snoopy goes by it, so we get to see it, but you can use a fish to skip doing a slow climb up the final part of the escape, and you can just rocket jump up. And he's gone for it, but failed in the tournament, so maybe he'll go for it again. Maybe not. Pirox has also attempted it, so even if we don't get to see it on Snoopy's stream, I'm beginning to feel like we've already gotten past that point, so it's a mystery That's Schrodinger's fish there. It may be in or out of the water. We'll get to see Pirox attempt it, I think. And he's on his way to Horu now.
I feel sorry for the stats guy who has to figure out what tried door warp that was for Snoopy. Looks like Snoopy already finished the escape, so now all he has to do is hold right.
So I think we can call that a fish strat success, maybe.
In the chat, he said he tried it but failed.
Oh,
So
nice.
at least he didn't die from it. You can easily die from attempting fish strats and failing it.
We have seen a turnaround in this tournament as a result of a fish strat's death. It's pretty spooky. Going back to the start of the escape loses you a lot of time, and it doesn't save much time, but because it's so cool, you know, a lot of people want to do it anyways. Pirox into Horu now. He'll just be going for door warp. Unfortunately, this means this is the end of the tournament run for Pirox. Snoopy is going to move on, and Pirox will be going home, but I think he'll still be happy with his tournament performance, considering he learned the game very, very recently. You can't be expecting to get too far, but really, you just have to look back at the start of the race where he had a good lead and just say, you know, I was playing well there. That was pretty good. Soro just did its thing. Without that miss save at the top of Soro, this would have been really tight up until the end, I think. Without the having to revert to the earlier save in Soro Pass, that really cost a lot of time.
Pirox going for some stomp cancels in the escape there.
Dude, nice. So since the bracket stage has now kicked off for the Ori tournament, we do have more matches scheduled later today. In Eastern Daylight Time, there's Jella versus Smashy at 4, and then Richard versus Ribbit at 10. At the 4 p.m. match will be on SRL, and the 10 p.m. We're seeing fish strats now from Pirox, by the way, so take a look at that. And he gets it. And he gets hit by a rock, but 4 health is the best, and he lives. So that's going to wrap it up for him as well. Okay, yeah, so the 4 p.m. match will be on SRL. The 10 p.m. match will be back here on Speed Gaming. So be sure to check those out. Those will be a good time for sure. And now Pirox just has to hold right for a little while to wrap up this final cutscene. Snoopy coming in with a 43.19, which that's not a time that I think he'll be too enthused about, but I think he played pretty well after the disaster of a Frankie walk at the start of the game.
Yeah, that's always the worst, dying to Frankie walk, especially twice. I can't think of many other things that would put me on tilt harder than that.
Yeah, it just loses you so much time, and then the entire run you're thinking, well, I could be a minute faster here. I could be 2 minutes faster here, kind of thing.
So who does Snoopy go on to face now in the bracket?
After this, Snoopy will be moving on to play against Trojan Dude, the 4th seed in the tournament. That is definitely going to be a very tough match. I don't think Snoopy will be able to win that, barring some catastrophic disaster from Trojan, but nonetheless, he gets through his first round match and manages to secure a spot in the round of 32, so he made some progress in the tournament, so, you know, got to feel good about that. Now we've got 46.08 from Pirox, which I believe beats his race average. Doesn't beat his PB, but you know, still like that run overall, solid performance. Soro was Soro. That's just how it goes sometimes. So that'll pretty much do it for us for the first match of the pre-elimination bracket. You have anything you want to say to the crazy fans, Het?
Yeah, good game from both runners. Unfortunate for Pirox to be eliminated, but you know, that's the way it goes.
That is how it goes. So come back, watch more Ori later today. Watch the other stuff that's on Speed Gaming. I think there's a bit of half-hour break before the next Speed Gaming stream thing goes live, but check all that out. And I will see you guys around.
Later.
He's going to kill it far, far away from this door where he actually needs to level up. And then he's going to dash to the door, the XP chasing him, he gets the energy, he opens the door, and that is amazing.
Exactly. I think it's probably one of the most stupid threats that we have.
Oh, goodness, Monkley with the dodge. That was...
I like floating laser turret, which you can imagine what that is. But yeah, I think they didn't mean for anybody to ever see these. Oh. Did you just see what Rufus did in that key?
I have never seen that. Is that faster?
Is that faster?
And it's very rewarding as well.
Oh no! Oh, he makes it! Wow!
Oh my god!
I was so close to
for the 5th energy. So that's going to put a temporary gap in between, but it's going to. Oh my gosh!
What a nice adaptation to save it.
Races, and you watch someone who doesn't get the rocket jump up towards Sunstone, you might see them.
Whoa! He actually knocked that frog into the wall. He thought he was completely done for, but
he said, "I just don't want to die because if you don't save and you die here, it's real bad." So he's going to be taking a save.
Oh, wow. So Trojan got the shot. His shot looked extremely high, but he got it, and that's going to practically level this race right now.
Yeah, as you can see, they're now in the same cutscene, and Terra has to go up to the Spirit Well.
That's really where you're supposed to need all this wind without using the wind. He also went for a ridiculously risky trick there, where he skipped through that.
Spent like 4 minutes in door.
Oh, Meldon, can he make it back to the lights? What a beautiful charge dash from Meldon to save himself. That was absolutely insane. And yes, please take that safety step.
All he has to do here is get to the end of the game. That's his only target, whereas Cheese is on his way to Misty Woods. He's going to be going. Wow!
Oh, Raziel, no! Oh my God, Raziel, no!
I can't believe it.
Oh my god!
Think about that. So, just little things like that. Strategy getting to. Oh goodness! Oh, the laser! Oh God!
Oh man!
Coming out of
Melvin first miss for Melvin, second miss for Riven, third attempt. Riven misses on the third attempt. Melvin misses on the second attempt. I can't believe what I'm seeing. Riven, fourth attempt, misses. Melvin gets it on the third attempt, and he takes the lead for the first time.
Riven got it!
But Riven gets it as well. I'm losing my mind here because they're actually come down execution on the final escape.
Dropping falling trees and boulders, and the whole time Kuro, the main villain, is chasing you. And you have to escape. Wait. Oh no, he bonks unfortunately. Oh my god.
Oh my god,
this is so close to time. It's a really swag strat that only saves 2 seconds and has the potential to lose you over a minute.
He's going for it again.
He's going for it again. The absolute madman.
Okay.
Here we go. Oh no! Brindle's in the lead! Guys, okay, let's see if Brindle goes for fish strats. If he just plays it safe, he has this in the bag. He can't lose from here. He's not doing fish strats. Brindle's got this.